I regret to inform you that another plane has just hit the second tower.
Nice shirt, loser. 2001 called. Apparently something happened at the World Trade Center. Howdy do, all you twaddle-headed Telecaster-loving tits. Den here with yet another tier list video. You guys are really eating these things up. We've done Les Pauls. We've done Flying Vs. We've done Stratocasters. We've done SGs. You should know this if you clicked on this video, but today we're doing famous Telecasters. Some people love them. Other people have bad taste. Yeah, you might have noticed that there's something missing from the intro of this video, and you guys kind of took it away from yourself because you scared me. So congratulations, bozo. Yeah, you guys lost the chair gag because everyone keeps telling me that I'm gonna die. Everyone keeps saying the chair's gonna explode one day and a big old hydraulic rod's gonna go square up my prison wallet. So yeah, you lost your chair gag privileges. You proud? You happy? Are you satisfied with what you've done? I hope so. So while you guys are thinking about the consequences of your actions, we've got a tier list to get to, so let's get to it. Today with me, I've got about 20 of some of the most famous Telecasters in existence. Whether that's because of the goofy goober that played them, or because their mother's name was Stacy, and they too have also got it going on. I gotta reiterate this at the beginning of every tier list video because you guys will murder me in the comments if I don't. I'm not ranking the artist that made these guitars famous. I'm ranking the guitar itself. It doesn't matter if it's like Jimmy Page or Jimi Hendrix or Jesus Christ. If he's playing a lemon, I'm gonna rank it as a lemon. We're ranking the guitars and how much I like the way the guitar looks, not the artist, okay? I think at some point we're gonna start doing tier lists of just the artists. That way you guys can stop drawing and quartering my family members. I've only got a few left. On to the tiers now, boy. So you should know by now, we change up the tiers every single video, and today it's butts. We're doing butts. How I would label their hiney. So at the very top spot, the best of the best, they get the badonkadonk rating. If I saw these Telecasters walking in front of me, I'd say, damn girl, you got a shovel in your back pocket? Because I'm digging that ass. And then the tier below that, we've got Cake City. These ones still got the caboose, I tell you what. But there's something that's holding them back from being a badonkadonk, you know? But it may not be a very big thing. And then the tier below that, we've got Big Ol' Plumper. These ones are still great, but they get the bronze butt medal. They're still nice, they're just not Cake City or badonkadonk. You know what I'm saying? And then the tier below that, we've got a regular old rear end. Yeah, green, lower middle tier is mid. You know, their butt's not like a straight line, but it's also not like Nicki Minaj either. It's just a regular old rear end. And then the tier below that, we've got Hank Hill. If you've seen King of the Hill, you know exactly what I'm saying. And then at the bottom tier, we have poop from a butt. These ones don't even get the butt. They're the poop from the butt. And I don't even like poop jokes, but I think the phrase poop from a butt is really funny. So without further ado, let's finally get into this, shan't we? Starting off with a regular on these tier list videos. This guy's got a lot of legendary guitars, and this is just another one of them. Jimmy Page of Led Zeppelin and the Yardbirds. This is Jimmy Page's mirror Telecaster. This is one of two looks that this guitar had. Yeah, it was just a white Telecaster that he put a bunch of mirrors on. You know, he was just trying to be a little different. He was just trying to be a silly little guy. The layout kind of bothers my OCD, but, you know, it's quirky. I think Jimmy Page's mirror Telecaster is a big old plumper. Because I like it, but it's also not crazy, you know? The mirror Telecaster did not stay the mirror Telecaster. Eventually, Jimmy Page stripped the paint off of that guitar, and then I don't remember if he himself painted it or if he had someone else paint it for him. But the mirror Telecaster became the Dragon Telecaster. Looks infinitely cooler. The Dragon Telecaster looks sick. Also, I should probably mention that the Dragon / mirror Telecaster is the reason why so many people own a Les Paul. Jimmy Page recorded the first Led Zeppelin album on this Telecaster, I'm pretty sure. But then he got his Les Pauls like right after that and started touring with his Les Pauls. So everyone thought he recorded them with his Les Pauls. It's also got that like neochrome jet fuel pickguard kind of meme going on. It's a cool looking guitar. I like the Dragon Telecaster. I like it more than when it was the mirror Telecaster. The Dragon Telecaster, I think, is the first one that we can put into the badonkadonk category. Johnny Greenwood of Radiohead and his Telecaster. It's a tobacco burst, but Fender people call that sunburst for some reason. You guys are weird. For some reason, it has a big ol' Honda sticker on it. Hondas are objectively the worst dirt bikes. I don't care if they've got that cool ass dual exhaust, and I don't care if Jet Lawrence's overpowered prodigy ass rides one. I don't like red. Therefore, Hondas are the worst dirt bikes. If you want me to like a Honda, maybe you should make it any other color than red, you fart. Sorry, I got a little carried away there. It looks like he's got aftermarket pickups in there. Yeah. And as you can see, it's not like a nitro finished guitar. That's why the aging looks kind of like weird on it. You know what I'm saying? You know what? His Telecaster is a Hank Hill butt. I think that's a good spot for it. Moving on, we've got Mr. Jack White White. So Jack White is a quirky little guy. Yeah, you know how you enter your guitar class in middle school or high school, and then for the next year, all you hear is people playing Seven Nation Army? You can say thank you to Jack White for that happening, for that being a thing. I like Jack White, he's pretty cool. He's got a Fender signature that's called the Telecaster. It's quirky. It's something, I tell you what. The neck pickup is like Fender's weird humbucker thing. The middle pickup is a P90, it appears, and I don't know what the fuck the bridge pickup is. It's got like a Kirkland brand Bigsby on it. Like, look at the whammy bar itself, it's so weird. And the black version is okay, but he's got a really, really cool sparkle blue version of this guitar. And I think this version of this guitar is fucking sick. I really like the way this guitar looks. And yeah, I think the blue version is another one that goes into the badonkadonk category. That thing is sick. Maybe we should also rank just the regular black version. It's just a regular old rear end. I mean, it's not. It's a really weird Telecaster, but it's pretty mid. I think the sparkle blue finish really, really does a lot for that guitar. Continuing on with our Telecaster journey, we have yet another blue Telecaster. We've got Brad Paisley's Blue Paisley Telecaster. So I've only got 20. And I definitely missed some. There's a gaggle-ass of famous Telecasters out there, and I definitely missed like most of them. So we can definitely do a part 2 for the Telecasters. So if I missed your favorite, don't freak out, don't have an aneurysm. Let me know which ones you guys want to see in part 2. Brad Paisley has a gaggle-ass of Paisley Telecasters because that's like his whole thing. But there's this really cool blue one that I actually liked, so I put it in this one. And yeah, the Blue Paisley, Brad Paisley Telecaster is pretty freaking sick, I can't lie. That's pretty nice. And it's another one that's going in to the badonkadonk category because that thing looks sick. We got some very unconventional Telecasters in the badonkadonk category right now. Moving on, we've got one of my favorite modern day blues artists. We've got Kingfish and his signature deluxe Telecaster. I love Kingfish. I think he is an incredible artist. I think he's a great blues player. And yeah, his signature Telecaster is sick. It is basically a Les Paul disguised as a purple Telecaster. Yeah, 2 humbuckers, stop bar bridge and tailpiece, 3-way toggle switch, 2 volume, 2 tone. This thing is awesome. This is gonna be another interesting tier list because this is another one that goes into the badonkadonk category. Now it's gonna get weird. We have one of John Five's signature Telecasters. John Five has played with Marilyn Manson. He has played with Rob Zombie. I saw him live with Rob Zombie and he fucking killed it. And most recently, he has become the new guitar player for Motley Crue. Well, new, it's been a few years. And John Five is unironically an amazing guitar player, and he's one of my favorites, and I think he's a really cool and chill guy. He does not belong in Motley Crue. The reason Motley Crue sounds like Motley Crue at all is because of Mick Mars. Yeah, the other 3 guys in Motley Crue owe Mick Mars a gigantic apology because he carried them on his fucked up back their entire career. And the reason their new album doesn't sound like Motley Crue at all and sounds like Dookie Butt is because Mick Mars wasn't part of it. Nothing against John Five. He just doesn't belong in Motley Crue. In my opinion, if the guitar player is not Mick Mars, then it's not Motley Crue. I'm gonna make a video one day talking about just how important Mick Mars is, not just to Motley Crue, but to the guitar world in general. Mick Mars literally might be the most underrated and underappreciated guitar player on planet Earth. It's insane. Anyway, we're talking about John Five's signature Telecasters, and this is one of them. And the reason I'm talking about this one is because look at that goddamn headstock. What is going on there? What's happening? Why is it like this? Fender's regular headstock works fine. Why would you make it to where it's like a Gibson 3x3 so you ruin the tuning stability? And then why would you put it like this? Like, I know there's probably some lore here, but why? And it's got a Bigsby on it? Fuck, man, this thing's awful. I'm sorry, John Five, but this signature Telecaster of yours is poop from a butt. My goodness. That's not the only John Five signature Telecaster we're gonna look at. We're gonna look at his more recent, I think it has a name, but I can't remember what it's called. Yeah, his new signature Telecaster looks infinitely better than that thing we just looked at. So yeah, it's predominantly a white guitar. It's got one of those white phenolic fingerboards, which are really cool. It's got a mirror pickguard, and then it has red accents. And then as you can see in this picture, it also has red binding. This guitar is really, really cool, don't get me wrong, but it would look a lot better if the red accents were blue. I prefer blue, but it's not my signature guitar, is it? Okay, here's a better picture where you can actually see the red binding. It's pretty cool. Yeah, John Five's new signature Telecaster is Cake City. That's a good looking Telecaster. We've got Mr. Curtis Cobain here. I know Kurt Cobain is mostly known for his Jazzmaster, but he also did have a Telecaster, and boy was that thing not a looker. Oh my goodness, where is it? So it's a blue Telecaster. Telecaster, which is good. I believe it was originally a sunburst Telecaster that he painted over blue, and then he carved out Courtney onto it in a really messy way. Here's a right-handed replica of this Telecaster, and it's not referring to Courtney McPlant of Spiritbox. It's referring to Courtney Love, his lady. Kurt Cobain's Telecaster, I think, also belongs in Cake City. I like that Telecaster. It's got a little charm to it. So there's a couple in here that aren't technically Fender Telecasters, but they can be part of the party as well because they're freaking sick. How do you say his name? Is it Joe Duplantier? Duplantier? Duplantois? How do you say it? Agufish just calls him Gojira Joe, and I like that. That's easy for my dumb caveman American brain. Joe is one of the rhythm guitar players and the lead singer of one of my favorite bands, Gojira. And he has since moved to ESP Ltd, and he plays this really cool like offset Jazzmaster kind of guitar. But he used to be with Charvel, and his old signature Charvel that was basically a Telecaster looks freaking sick. Much like Kingfish's signature, it's pretty much a Les Paul in a Telecaster shape. He's got his signature DiMarzio Fortitude pickups in there, which sounds sick. Yeah, DiMarzio, what's up, bro? I like you guys. It'd be cool if we could work together. I know you're not watching this, but it would be cool. I love Gojira Joe. I love Gojira. I love his guitar. I love their plug-in. Holy shit. Neural DSP Gojira, best amp ever. The greatest guitar plugin ever. If you're gonna have any guitar plugin, get Neural DSP Gojira. It is the best plugin ever. Signature Charvel Telecaster that has unfortunately since been discontinued, I'm pretty sure, is another one that's going into the badonkadonk category. That thing absolutely rips. I love the way that thing looks. Moving on to another metal maniac, we've got Jim Root and his signature Fender Telecaster. Jim Root is the lead guitar player in Slipknot, and this guitar is fucking sick. But yeah, it's a white Telecaster. There's black versions too, but the white version is cooler. And yeah, again, it's like the Les Paul in a Telecaster shape, except for this one doesn't have the stop bar bridge and tailpiece. It just has Fender's regular hardtail bridge. And his original one that he played for a real long time is all beat up and looks really cool now. I couldn't really find a good picture of that though. But yeah, Jim Root's signature Telecaster is not as cool as his signature Strat and his signature Jazzmasters. I gotta be honest, but they're still pretty damn cool. Jim Root's Telecaster is another one that goes into the big old plumper category. Moving on, we've got Mr. Bruce Springsteen and his Telecaster that he has named the Mutt. Yeah, Bruce Springsteen, I'm not gonna lie, I don't really listen to that much of his music, but I fucks with him. Especially now that he's been publicly telling Trump to suck it from the back. But yeah, he's played this one Telecaster for ages at this point. Apparently underneath the pickguard, there's like a big old section of the body that's just been carved out and dug out real big. I believe this is a picture of the actual guitar. Butterscotch blonde Telecasters are objectively sick. But Telecasters are just like Stratocasters. They just look better when they're beat up. It's just a biological fact of life. I think Bruce Springsteen's Telecaster, the Mutt, belongs in Cake City. I really like it, but I don't know if I like it any more than these guys, which is weird because none of these are really beat up. And I just went on a whole tirade about how beat up Telecasters are better. You know what? Okay, we'll put it in badonkadonk. That's a nice Telecaster. That one is worthy of that tier. Moving on, we've got a little bit of a silly one here. We've got Danish Pete's purple Telecaster. So Danish Pete is a fellow guitar YouTuber. He makes videos with Andertons, and they are a lot bigger of a channel than me. So I guarantee most of you guys know who Danish Pete is. And Danish Pete has a really nice Fender Custom Shop Telecaster that is a beat up purple little guy. It's a nice looking Telecaster, and it reminds me a lot of the Fender Telecaster that I used to own. For those of you that don't know, I used to own a 50s road-worn Telecaster in purple. It was a sick guitar, and Danish Pete's purple Telecaster is another sick guitar. I think Danish Pete's purple Telecaster goes into Cake City. Up next, we've got James Burton and his red flame Paisley Telecaster. Like when I first started getting into Teles, I really like the beat up ones, but I would always see this Telecaster everywhere. It reminds me a lot of my first BMX bike just because of the flames. It's a cool Telecaster, don't get me wrong, but there's a blue flame Paisley version of this guitar that I would much rather pick. But I think the red version is much more well known. This James Burton Telecaster, kind of just a regular old rear end to me. Moving on, we have Mr. Andy Summers and his secret weapon Telecaster. The police are coming coming up the hill. So Andy Summers was a member of the band known as the Police. And yeah, he's got this really cool sunburst Telecaster that's nice and beat up. It looks really cool, but it's also got a Gibson PAF in the neck position. Yeah, Andy Summers' Secret Weapon Telecaster is pretty freaking sick, I cannot lie. Look at how beat up this thing is. It looks so goddamn cool. There's like a third knob here for some reason. This is a sick guitar. Andy Summers' Secret Weapon Telly is another one that's gonna go into the Badonkadonk category because that thing is sick. Man, the Badonkadonk category is far and away the winner so far. Up next, we've got Mr. Joe Strummer from The Clash and his Telecaster. This is another one of those Telecasters that I would see everywhere. It appears to have been a sunburst Telecaster that was repainted and then just beat to piss. And it's a cool looking guitar. Like when I first got into Telecasters, I really got into the beat up ones. So this was one of the beat up Telecasters that I would see a lot. This one goes into Cake City. Moving on, we've got Mr. Chris Shiflett from the Foo Fighters and his red P90 Telecaster. I'm not a big fan of red guitars. I've said that multiple times throughout this video, but this is a pretty good looking Telly, I can't lie. 2 volume, 2 tones, 3-way toggle switch up here, kind of like a Les Paul setup, but it's got the regular Fender hardtail and it's got P90 pickups instead of humbuckers. As you can see, it's got wear and tear and it's been worn and used. This might be my most favorite red guitar that we've seen so far. I think my favorite Chris Shiflett guitar is probably his white Les Paul Custom because I'm a whore for those guitars, but his red Telecaster with P90s, I think this is another one of those Telecasters that goes into Cake City. But we're not done with red Telecasters. We've got an OG up next. We've got Mr. Muddy Waters and his red Telecaster. Yeah, it's a pretty basic Telecaster. It's got a nice red color and it's all beat up, and it was Muddy Waters' guitar, so that's got to have some brownie points. I believe this is one of the reissues of the Muddy Waters Telecaster. It's pretty sick. I like the wear and tear on it. I think it's pretty good looking. It's a nice guitar. I like it. I think Muddy Waters' red Telecaster isn't as cool as Chris Shiflett's red Telecaster, so I think Muddy Waters' Telly belongs in the big old plumper category. We got 2 more old farts that we're gonna look at. I don't know how this guy has popped up in so many of my tier list videos. I guess George Harrison had quite a few cool guitars. But yeah, we've got George Harrison's Telecaster up next. And his is very quirky because it was the very first rosewood Telecaster that Fender ever made. This is probably my favorite George Harrison guitar that we've looked at so far. It's just a rosewood Telecaster. It's sick. I actually kind of fuck with this guitar a lot. So George Harrison's rosewood Telecaster, I think, belongs in Cake City. That's a good looking Telly. We've got one more Telecaster to look at, my friends, and it's gonna be Mr. Keith Richards' Macabre Telecaster. Crazy name. I imagine being named Macabre. That's insane. I don't know if this is an actual PAF, but it had a humbucker installed on it. And the quirky thing about Macabre is Keith Richards doesn't put the low E string on it. He only uses the bottom 5 strings and he tunes them to an open G chord, I'm pretty sure, which is very quirky. Yeah, it's just a butterscotch blonde Telecaster that's been beat to piss over the years. That's another good looking Telecaster, I tell you what. I think Keith Richards' Macabre, where do I put Macabre? It's a beat up butterscotch blonde Telly, so it's gonna go into the top 3 at least. Might be a little controversial, but I think Macabre can go into Cake City. Yeah, I think that's a good spot for it. And I guess we're done. I guess that's the tier list. Man, that was a fun one. I liked a lot of the Telecasters on this one, if you can't already see. I think only 2 of them got like negative scores. Only 2 of them were kind of mid, and then the rest of them I just objectively like. I think that is going to wrap up my tier list for 20 of some of the most famous Telecasters in existence. Definitely go down there in the comments and give me your guys' thoughts and opinions. I love to hear what you guys have to say, and I'm very curious as to what you'll say for this tier list. Thank you guys so much for watching. Definitely let me know the ones that I missed so I can start compiling a list for a potential part 2. Share the video around, Telecaster the fuck out of that like button. And if you regularly watch my channel and you haven't already subscribed, well then thanks, you big horse's ass. I mean, I know it takes a lot to subscribe to somebody. I mean, you gotta move your hand like a couple inches and then you gotta like press the button. I'm basically asking you guys to build a house, but you know, the support is really appreciated. Big shout out and a thank you to Cosmic Steez, A Horse Running, Solar Flare, Rob Heath, Bad Joe Guitars, Brandon's Ballast Corner, Bandage Knives, Jan Chocolate, Leagues Beneath, Scott Toman, Master Chief, Big Tills, and Julio Moreta. These sexy senoritas are my current channel members and their support really does mean a lot. If you want to join them, get a shout out in my longer videos, get access to the members only videos, and just help support this channel in a bigger way, then you can go down there, click the join join button. Tiers start as low as 3 schmeckles. There's also the super thanks button down there if you just want to give me some money. But I am done being a tool. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.
Bye. The video's over. Bye. Go away.